All right, let's dive in. If you've just gotten your hands on the Teenage Engineering EP133 KO2, you are in for a ride. This thing is all about moving fast, being creative, and just getting your ideas out. Today, we're going to get right into the heart of this machine, sampling and chopping. So let's get started and see what this thing can really do. And that right there, that just nails it, doesn't it? This quote from a user on the Electronauts forum totally gets the whole vibe of the KO2. It's built to be intuitive, to just get out of your way so you can create. So let's see how you can start cooking. Okay, first things first, we need to get some sound into the box. And that sound can be literally anything. Your voice through the built-in mic, a killer drum break from an old record, a synth melody from your phone, you name it. It all starts with capturing that audio. So let's break down how you actually do it. Grabbing your first sound is super straightforward. You just hit that sample button, and now the device is armed and ready. Then you're just gonna dial in your levels, which we'll get to in a second. And finally, you just press and hold down any of the pads, and you're recording. The whole idea here is that this becomes muscle memory, so you never miss a moment of inspiration. Okay, these two knobs, they're gonna be your best friends for sampling. The orange one is your input level, basically the gain. Think of it as the volume of the sound coming in. You wanna get it nice and loud, but see that little red light? That's your warning sign for clipping. A little bit of grit can be cool, but too much and things just get messy. Then you've got the black knob, which controls something a little more subtle, the recording threshold. So here's the deal with the threshold. It's basically telling the KO2 how loud a sound needs to be before it automatically starts recording. If you crank it way down, it's super sensitive. Even a whisper will start the recording. If you set it higher, it's gonna wait for a louder sound, like a big drum hit. You'll actually see a little light flash when your audio crosses that threshold, so you know exactly when it's ready to go. You're also gonna have to choose between stereo and mono. Now, you might be thinking, why would I ever choose mono in a stereo world? Well, on a machine like this, it's a huge strategic advantage. For one, mono samples take up half the memory, which means you can fit way more sounds in your project. But even more importantly, they use up fewer voices. That means you can have more sounds playing at once, your drums, your bass, your melody, without them cutting each other off. Honestly, a punchy kick or a fat bass line, they almost always sound better in mono anyway. Trust me on that. Okay, so you've got your sound in the box. Now for the really, really fun part, chopping it up. This is where the magic happens, where you take a loop or some long sound and slice it into little playable pieces, turning it into a brand new instrument you can actually play on the pads. And the KO2 gives you two totally different ways to go about this. You can either let the machine use its brain and find all the best slice points for you automatically, or you can just use your own rhythm and chop it up by hand. Both are super powerful, and you'll probably find yourself using both, depending on what you're trying to do. So here's the main difference, like the whole mindset behind them. AutoChop is like a robot surgeon. It looks for the sharpest parts of the sound, the transients, like a kick drum hit, and slices them up with perfect precision. Live Chop, which some people call lazy chop, is all about your personal groove and feel. It's just you hitting the pads in real time and creating the slices as you go. Let's talk AutoChop first. So what you're gonna do is hold Shift and hit Sample. That puts you in chop mode. Then you pick an empty group, A, B, C, or D, to put your new slices in. From there, you just use the plus and minus buttons to tell it how many slices you want, and boom, the KO2 just lays them all out across the pads for you. It's that easy. Now for Live Chop, this feels way more like you're jamming. You get into chop mode the same way, Shift plus Sample, but instead of telling it a number, you just let the sample play. You're literally hitting the pads as the sample is playing, and every single tap creates a slice right then and there, based on your rhythm. It's such a fast and intuitive way to get chops that just feel human. And you know what the best part is? No matter which method you use, AutoChop or Live Chop, you're never locked in. You can always go back into every single individual slice and tweak its start and end points to get it just right. So you don't have to worry about those annoying clicks or pops if a chop isn't quite perfect. And here's how you do it. It's super simple. Once you've selected a pad that has a slice on it, the X and Y knobs become your best friends. Knob X moves the start point, knob Y moves the end point. Easy. But here's the real pro tip. Hold down Shift while you turn those knobs, and you get this super fine-tuned microscopic control to really dial it in perfectly. Okay, so you've got the basics of sampling and chopping down. Awesome. But let's get into the stuff that really unlocks this machine. We're going to go over a few workflow hacks. A lot of these were actually figured out by the community, which is just so cool, and they will help you make beats faster and get more creative. Okay, get ready to write these down because these two shortcuts are going to save you so much time. First, Shift plus play instantly jumps your sequence right back to the beginning. No more stopping and starting all the time. And then there's this one, Shift plus record plus the plus button. This instantly doubles the length of your pattern and copies over all your notes. It's literally the fastest way to turn a 1-bar loop into a 2-bar loop and keep building your track. Now, this next one is a classic sampler technique that just opens up so many doors. It's called resampling, and all it is sampling the KO2's own output. You can play a whole drum pattern with a bass line and some chords, and then record all of that together into one brand new sample. So, why does this matter so much? Well, resampling is your secret weapon for sure. It's how you get around that voice limit, the polyphony, by baking, say, 4 or 5 tracks into one. You can also use it to glue your sounds together with an effect, like putting some reverb on a whole drum kit and then sampling that. It's perfect for creating entirely new loops out of the patterns you've already made. And this all leads to a really important point about this machine's whole philosophy. The KO2 is heavily inspired by those old school samplers from the 90s. And things that might seem like limitations, like not having a ton of memory, they're not bugs, they're features. It's part of the charm, and it pushes you to be more creative. So, my advice? Lean into that lo-fi character. Seriously, just go for it. Push the time stretching until it starts to sound all weird and gritty. You'll get these amazing artifacts that just drip with character. And get this, there are these awesome community-made web tools, like one called Repitch, that let you speed up a sample before you even load it onto the KO2. Then, when you pitch it back down on the machine, what you get is that classic, crunchy sampler sound, plus you save a ton of memory. It's a total win-win. And that right there, that really gets to the heart of what this little box is all about. You know, it's not about being perfect. It's about having fun, experimenting, and discovering cool stuff by accident. I mean, how great is that? This quote from the Noisegate YouTube channel just says it all. Don't be scared to make a mess. Some of the greatest ideas in music came from mistakes. Record a wobbly fader move, chop a sample the wrong way, push an effect until it breaks. Just embrace it. At the end of the day, the KO2 is just a playground for sound. It's fast, it's fun, and it absolutely rewards just trying stuff out. We've gone over the basics of sampling and chopping, but that's really just the very beginning. The real question is, what are you going to create? What happy accidents are just waiting out there for you to find them? Now go make some noise. Thanks for hanging out.